By now, every MMA fan is aware of the Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria situation and ducking accusations flying around. But to rewind, here's the catch. Islam is already the lightweight champ. He's defended his belt a couple of times. But now the question is, what's next? And John Anik, one of the big voices of the UFC, has a strong opinion. In a recent appearance, here is what he had to say.
But he has long desired to chase status as a double champion. He doesn't necessarily, Islam, want to cement himself as the greatest lightweight of all time, distancing himself from Khabib Nurmagomedov or BJ Penn or Benson Henderson, right? Islam wants to be a double champion and have a belt over each shoulder and potentially defend both. At least try to defend both, defend lightweight one more time, and without an obvious number one contender, because Arman Tsarukyan sort of fumbled the bag. You know, I can understand why the timing seems right, but of course his friend is the champion. So Ilia Topuria is everybody's cup of tea right now. You know, the guy who, you know, hasn't sort of met his match in the UFC. So undersized he may be. I think you can argue historically, when we look back 5 years from now with respect to my friend Justin Gaethje, I feel like a bigger win for Makhachev's legacy would actually be to fight the natural featherweight Ilia Topuria. But if you're Islam, yeah, it's annoying after a while.
According to Anik, Islam is looking at moving up to welterweight to chase double champ status. But in doing so, he might skip a super fight with Ilia Topuria, the undefeated featherweight wrecking machine from Georgia. And that, according to Anik, would be a mistake for Islam's legacy. And sure, he has a point. If Islam moves up to 170 and becomes champ, sure, it's historic. But if he skips fighting Ilia, a dangerous, undefeated, rising star, there's always going to be that question mark. Especially if Ilia goes on to win the lightweight title later. And that's how dirt gets attached to great careers. Islam has always said he wants to be a double champ. He wants to hold two belts, one over each shoulder, and defend both. But as Anik points out, there's a legacy path right in front of him at 155, and his name is Ilia Topuria. It's a tough decision, chase history or defend legacy. But either way, fans want answers. Let us know if you think Islam should fight Ilia Topuria next. Alexander Volkanovski isn't like most champions. While other fighters chase money fights or call out big names for easy paydays, Volk is sticking to what he's always believed in, earning your shot. He just made it clear, he wants undefeated contender Movsar Evloev next. That's right. Despite being a massive name who could handpick easier opponents, Volk says it's time to give the next man up his chance. Evloev isn't the flashiest guy in the division. He doesn't knock people out or make viral highlights. But make no mistake, he's a nightmare for anyone. Undefeated, relentless and smart. He's beaten Arnold Allen, Diego Lopez, and most recently Aljamain Sterling, the former bantamweight champ. Movsar's style is all about pressure and control. It may not get the loudest cheers, but it breaks people. On the other side, Volk brings elite striking, insane fight IQ, and championship experience. If this fight happens, it's going to be a technical war, a chess match at the highest level.
Everyone knows what I've always been about. You earn your shot next in line. You know, I've always been a big believer in that. And, you know, obviously the UFC, you know, with how they are, like obviously it's not just rankings that gets your title shot. It is more than that. I've never really played too much into that. I mean, whoever earns it, that's how I've earned, not given. I've always said that, right? And that's always, I'm a big believer of that. So it's just hard for me to not want to give Movsar the chance when you know that, you know, he should be next, right? Like so it's hard. And then just giving guys that are ranked, you know, 11, it goes against what I've always wanted to do. But again, I like everybody, so I don't want to turn anyone down. You know, there could have been a good chance if I was to get knocked out in that cage, you know, hang up the gloves, definitely. Because, yeah, you know, my family, obviously, they're like waiting for me to hang up the gloves and that, and I'm like, oh, no, come on, we're all right, we're a little bit more, come on.
Now the big question, can Volkanovski extend his reign? Or will Movsar outwork him across 5 brutal rounds? Let us know your take in the comments. Meanwhile, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you. Belal Muhammad shuts down Ian Garry's backup role at UFC 315. Up next, let's check in on the welterweight division. Ian Garry recently announced he's been chosen as the official backup fighter for the UFC 315 main event between Belal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena. Sounds exciting, right? But it seems the current champ Belal has a different narrative. On the Anik and Florian podcast, Belal didn't hold back and completely trashed this information. There's no way this guy is about to strap up as the backup. He looked like he got beat up, especially in that 5th round. Is he going to make weight again? Is it going to be worth it? Because I'm not pulling out, and I know Jack's not pulling out, coming all the way from Australia. It's now very clear that Belal doesn't see Garry as a real threat, let alone a real backup. The tension in the division is building up fast, and it's obvious Belal isn't letting anyone steal the spotlight. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan just dropped a bombshell on his podcast. He recently talked to Jon Jones, the UFC heavyweight champion, and told him straight up to fight Tom Aspinall. According to Rogan, facing Aspinall would be a true test. The Brit is fast, powerful, and super well-rounded. If Jon beats him, there's no debate, he's the GOAT of the heavyweight division too. Well, here's what Joe Rogan had to say.
That stuff fucks with him. It's gotta fuck with him. Aspinall is like, we've only seen him smash. We've never seen him be the nail. Jon Jones has had some trials and tribulations, but the skill set and the ability to push deep into rounds is nuts. I had a conversation with Jon and I said, listen, dude, you're still the greatest motherfucker of all time and you could show the world.
But here's the problem. The fight's still not booked. Fans want it. Aspinall wants it. And Jones? Surely no one knows. But let us know if you think Jon Jones is just scared of Tom Aspinall. And lastly, speaking of Jon Jones, he just went off on Colby Covington. On a recent podcast with Tim Welch, Colby accused Jones of ducking Tom Aspinall and asking for unreasonable amounts of money. And Jon Jones didn't let that slide.
I don't think Jon is fighting him. I think he's going to duck him and go into retirement.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so. They're definitely trying to make it happen, but you heard that interview with Aspinall yesterday. He's like, dude, I'm done talking about Jon. They're not getting this fight done until it's signed. I just don't want to talk about it anymore. So you can see the frustration from Aspinall's side. You know, Jon's ducking. He's trying to ask for an unreasonable price, man. You can't be asking for $40-50 million. You don't draw money to the company like that. So, you know, I think that he's going to end up retiring before he fights Aspinall.
When the clip hit Instagram, he jumped in the comments and lit Colby up, saying, "If jealousy was an actual person, this is exactly what it would look like. I haven't seen Colby in person literally since college. For him to have this much hatred, it could only be one thing. I mean, look at that passion in his eyes. What a sad boy. It's not the first time these two have gone at it, and it won't be the last. But one thing's clear, Jones isn't taking the disrespect quietly." What do you think? Should Islam take the Ilia fight? Will Jon finally accept Aspinall's challenge? Or will he retire before we get that fight? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any fight news. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.